Like, we're not dumb. I don't care that there's football on the other side. There is still a commercial being played.
The business folks handle the business. I have no say over different elements that could or could not be in the show.
Can you give us a preview of what it's going to sound like on Sunday there?
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been more than 250 days since the first full NFL Sunday, but we are back. 7 hours of Red Zone football starts now.
Picture this. It's Sunday, September 8th, 2025. You're settling into your couch ready for the first full Sunday of NFL football. You pull up Red Zone expecting Scott Hansen's iconic growl.
7 hours of commercial-free football start now.
But instead, you hear something different, something wrong.
It's 7 hours of Red Zone football starts now.
And then you get an experience that's like this.
1:23 to go on a 2nd and 9. Pickett lines up.
Hush it. Did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more?
NFL season's around the corner, and Dak Prescott just needs one passing yard in order for his square to hit. Guys, you can sign up with my promo code MICROPHONE to get a free $50 in lineups when you play $5 or more on Prize Picks. Once you get that, use $25 on this lineup here to make $131. I've already been making picks so I can snipe the best lines early on. And in this case, I'm pairing Dak Prescott to get one passing yard, which is a free square, with Kyren Williams getting a touchdown at any point and Justin Jefferson scoring a touchdown versus the Chicago Bears. On top of that, if you want more plays, I've created an incredible Discord community of experts in the WAP link in the description down below. And thank you, Prize Picks, for today's sponsor. What's going on, guys? I know you guys are going to absolutely smack me for the fact that I'm not in my studio right now. This is my final trip before I'm home for good. I'm currently in Las Vegas, but don't even pay attention to that. Today, we're talking about how the NFL, the most profitable sports league in human history, somehow decided that $22.2 billion in revenue simply wasn't enough. And in their relentless pursuit of Roger Goodell's prophetic 2010 goal of hitting $25 billion by 2027, they're systematically destroying everything that made football special. And before you think I'm being dramatic, stick around, because by the end of this video, you're gonna see how 3 seemingly unrelated events from this week are actually puzzle pieces in the NFL's master plan to squeeze every last penny out of fans while giving us less actual football than ever before. Let's start with the bombshell that dropped on September 3rd, 2025. Scott Hansen, the beloved host of NFL Red Zone, went on the Pat McAfee show and basically had to deliver a hostage video. You could hear it in his voice that this wasn't his choice.
We are not going to sacrifice any great football for any of the business side of things. The business folks are going to handle the business, and we play the hand that's dealt us.
See, Red Zone wasn't just a channel, it was a sanctuary. Since 2009, it's been the one place where football fans could escape the endless barrage of insurance commercials, truck ads, and, well, this.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
For 16 years, Red Zone was proof that the NFL could deliver pure, uninterrupted football if they wanted to. So let me paint you a picture of what we're losing here. The average NFL game contains about 100 commercials and just 11 minutes of actual gameplay. That's right, in a 3-hour broadcast, you're watching the ball in play for less time than it takes to cook a frozen pizza. Red Zone was the antidote to that poison. It was football concentrate. It was just the good stuff, no filler. One play's blown dead, then you get another play. A team is close to the red zone. Well, that's why the channel's called Red Zone. They're going to bring you that action as well. But here's where it gets interesting. Remember last December when they tested commercials during Red Zone? Fans went absolutely ballistic. Social media erupted. People were literally threatening to cancel their subscriptions. And what did the NFL do? They noted that it was just a test run. Well, what do you think that they were testing, bro? Fast forward 9 months and surprise, that test became permanent policy. It's like when your favorite restaurant says that they're temporarily raising prices due to supply chain issues, and 3 years later, you're still paying $15 for a burger that used to cost $8. I'm looking at you, Five Guys. I haven't been to your restaurant in years. The timing here is crucial. This announcement came just 4 days before the season started. They waited until fans had already renewed their subscriptions, already made their fantasy leagues, already committed to another season. It's the corporate equivalent of waiting until after the wedding to to mention that you don't actually believe in monogamy. And the fan reaction? Man, it's been something to watch. One fan on Twitter posted that watching a commercial at 1:25 p.m. Eastern during the first Red Zone Sunday of the NFL season. But here's the kicker, and this is where it connects to something bigger. The NFL just sold NFL Media, including Red Zone, to ESPN in a deal that gives the league a 10% stake in ESPN. So not only are they adding commercials, they're literally selling out to the company that turned SportsCenter from must-watch TV into, well, this.
What I want to say, this right there.
Your Super Bowl winner.
This one's easy. It's the Green Bay Packers.
You know, it's not a bad take from Mike T, Mr. CIA himself. I don't blame him for that.
I know what you might be thinking. Okay, Mike, Red Zone has commercials. That sucks, but at least there are alternatives, right? Well, this isn't something I ever participated in, primarily because I like watching Red Zone on the big screen. But on August 24, 2025, Egyptian authorities, working with something called the Alliance for Creativity and Entertainment, raided an office outside Cairo and arrested two men. They seized laptops, smartphones, and found about $323,000 between cash and crypto wallets. What crime warranted this international law enforcement operation? These guys were running StreamEast, the world's largest illegal sports streaming network. Now, let me be crystal clear here. I'm not advocating for piracy, but we need to talk about what StreamEast actually was and why 1.6 billion people visited this past year. And yeah, that's billion with a B. StreamEast averaged 136 million visits per month. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire population of Mexico checking in monthly. StreamEast wasn't just some sketchy website. It had become a cultural phenomenon. When ESPN's own Adam Schefter accidentally shared a highlight with a MethStream's watermark on it, you knew these platforms had gone mainstream. And here's the thing the NFL doesn't want to admit. People weren't using StreamEast because they were cheap. They were using it because the NFL had made legally watching football nearly impossible for the average fan. Think about what it takes to watch every game your team plays legally. You need Sunday Ticket, which costs $449 if you don't have YouTube TV, or $389 if you do. But wait, that doesn't include Monday Night Football. You need ESPN for that, or Thursday Night Football. That's on Amazon Prime. Oh, and now Christmas games? Those are on Netflix. Add it all up and you're looking at close to $1,000 a year just to watch football. That's more than many people's car payments. When they shut down StreamEast, one user posted, "RIP StreamEast and crack streams. You'll be missed." But here's my favorite response from a site administrator on Discord right after the raid. "Our fight will continue until sports become affordable for everyone. We promise that once this is achieved, we will permanently shut down." That's not the manifesto of criminals, that's the cry of fans who just want to watch the sport they love without taking out a second mortgage on their home. And it gets way worse. I mean, I really hope this part isn't true because so far it's only a rumor. But if it is true, it's become the perfect symbol of what the NFL has become. There are rumors that Taylor Swift is going to be performing at the halftime show at this year's Super Bowl. On August 13, 2025, Taylor Swift went on Travis Kelce's podcast, and Swifties, God bless them, please don't hurt me, turned into the NFL's version of QAnon, finding clues everywhere, which I guess is the one silver lining of all this because we wouldn't be able to find out this information otherwise. She mentioned thinking about sourdough bread 60% of the time. Super Bowl 60 is this year. The 49ers mascot is Sourdough Sam, and she mentioned the number 47 multiple times. Guess which stop on the Eras tour was at Levi Stadium? Number 47. Swifties are absolutely wow. I mean, the investigative journalism here, it's kind of crazy. I gotta admit, I would not be able to figure this out myself. Don't give me credit for this. Now, whether Taylor Swift performs at the Super Bowl or not isn't really the point. The point is that the NFL has become so commercialized, so focused on spectacle over sport, that the biggest story heading into the season isn't about Cam Ward's debut as the Titans' new quarterback, or whether the Cowboys can finally get past the divisional round. Well, because we know the answer to that already. As evidence from my laundry list of Micah Parsons videos, it's about a pop star who's dating a tight end, possibly performing at a halftime of a game that's 5 months away. The fact that the NFL's official Instagram page posted a dedicated post to Taylor Swift getting engaged to Travis Kelce was a cute gesture. But do you remember last year when they started officially dating and they changed their bio to their win-loss record as Swifties? Look, I get it. Taylor Swift is a massive draw. When she started showing up at Chiefs games, viewership among young women increased by 53%. And as a single man man living in Los Angeles that hopes to settle down with a woman that values football as much as I do, I only see that as a good thing, even though me settling down seems very far-fetched at this point. The NFL saw dollar signs and thought, how do we get more of this? But here's what they're missing. Those fans came for Taylor. They didn't come for football. And when you prioritize celebrity over sport, when you turn the Super Bowl halftime show into a bigger event than the game itself, you're telling actual football fans that they don't matter as much as the casual viewers who tune in once a year. You remember when the halftime show was just a halftime show? Now it's a separate broadcast with its own sponsors, its own production budget that rivals small countries' GDPs, and more hype than the actual game. Kendrick Lamar's 2025 performance drew 133.5 million viewers, making it the most watched halftime show ever. The game itself, it was almost an afterthought, but at the same time, it wasn't the most competitive game that year. And speaking of turning football into something it was never meant to be, let's talk about Christmas Day 2024. For decades, the NFL mostly left Christmas alone. It was one of the few days where families could actually, be families without someone yelling at the TV about a blown coverage, but in 2020, they started playing games on Christmas regularly. By 2023, they swore they wouldn't play on Christmas when it fell on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Then, Netflix showed up with a Brinks truck. Suddenly, the NFL announced not only would they play on Wednesday, December 25th, 2024, but the games would exclusively be on Netflix, not on regular TV, not available locally unless you lived in one of the 4 cities playing. If you wanted to watch football on Christmas, you needed another subscription. And it was a huge success for Netflix. The games drew over 30 million viewers globally. Netflix called it their most watched Christmas day ever. They sold out every single commercial spot, and the NFL took that as a sign to double down. Now, Netflix's Ted Sarandos is openly talking with Roger Goodell about getting more games, not just on Christmas, but finding other ways to eventize games. Eventize, that's corporate speak for how can we make this more expensive and less accessible while pretending it's special. We've already got Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime, Monday Night Football on ESPN, Sunday Ticket on YouTube, international games in London, Germany, Brazil, and Mexico that start at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Now we're getting Christmas games on Netflix. At what point does the NFL schedule look less like a sports calendar and more like a subscription service stress test? Here's a stat that'll blow your mind. In 2000, you could watch 90% of your team's games with basic cable. In 2025, that number is down to about 35%. The NFL has literally made it harder to be a fan of football than it was 25 years ago, despite technology supposedly making everything easier. Let me break down the real economics here, because this is where it gets truly insane. The NFL generated $22.2 billion in revenue in 2024. That's more than the GDP of Iceland. The average NFL team is worth $6.49 billion. The league's TV deals alone are worth over $110 billion through 2023. So why are they nickel and diming fans over red zone commercials? I'll tell you why. Because Roger Goodell made a promise. In 2010, he stood up and declared the NFL would hit $25 billion in revenue by 2027. At the time, people thought he was crazy. The league was making about $8 billion annually, but Goodell didn't care about sustainable growth. He cared about a number. And to hit that number, everything became negotiable. Commercial-free viewing, negotiable. Reasonable ticket prices, negotiable. Games on traditional TV, negotiable. The fan experience itself, completely negotiable. It's like watching your favorite local restaurant get bought by a private equity firm. I'm looking at you, Dave's Hot Chicken. Sure, the name's the same, the menu looks similar, but the portions are smaller, the prices are higher, and somehow the food just doesn't taste quite right anymore because there's a bunch of red 40 in the ingredients now. This is from a Reddit post that went viral this week. My dad has had season tickets to the Bears since 1983. This year, he didn't renew. Not because he doesn't love the team, he's watched every game since he was 12, but between parking, which was $60, concessions, $18 beers, and PSLs, he calculated he was spending $450 per game to sit in 15-degree weather watching a team that hasn't been competitive in years. He said, I can buy Sunday ticket, watch from my couch, and take the family to Hawaii with the money I save. The NFL priced out its most loyal fans so some corporation can expense the tickets for clients who leave at halftime. That's not just one story. That's happening everywhere. The Chargers can't fill their stadium. The Rams play in a $5 billion venue you that sounds like an away game half the time. The Raiders left Oakland for Las Vegas and turned their fan base into tourists. We're watching gentrification of football in real time. And you might wonder why this is so scary for the future of football. Well, young people aren't buying into the sport like they used to be. A 2024 study found out that among Gen Z sports fans, the NBA is now more popular than the NFL. Look, I'm not naive. I know the NFL is a business. I know Roger Goodell's job is to make owners money, but there's something deeply wrong when the most popular sport in America becomes harder to watch every single year. Red Zone adding commercials isn't just about ads, it's a symbol. It's the NFL saying, that last sacred space, that one corner of our product that was just about football, yeah, we're gonna monetize that too. The shutdown of Stream East isn't really just about piracy. It's about the NFL refusing to acknowledge that they've priced out millions of fans who just want to watch their team play. The Taylor Swift speculation isn't really about her performing. It's about the NFL caring more about viral moments and casual viewers than the people who've been watching since they were kids. And those Christmas games on Netflix, that's not about growing the game globally, it's about extracting maximum value from every possible moment, even if it means making grandma subscribe to Netflix just to watch the Cowboys on Christmas. You know what this reminds me of? NASCAR in the early 2000s. NASCAR was booming. They were the fastest growing sport in America. So they got greedy. They moved races from traditional tracks to bigger markets. They implemented the chase format to manufacture drama. They prioritized TV ratings over the live experience. They changed everything that made NASCAR special in pursuit of casual fans. And you know what happened? They lost both. The hardcore fans felt betrayed, and the casual fans they were chasing moved on to the next shiny thing. Today, NASCAR ratings are a fraction of what they were at their peak, and the NFL is speedrunning that same playbook. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be this way. The NFL could offer a comprehensive streaming package, one price, every game, no blackouts. They could limit commercials like soccer does, continuous play with minimal interruption. They could prioritize fan experience over corporate profits. They could make tickets affordable for actual fans, not just business expense accounts. They won't though, not until we make them. And it's already starting to happen. The backlash to Red Zone commercials has been swift and brutal. Calls to boycott ESPN are trending. People are openly discussing alternative viewing methods on social media without even trying to hide it anymore. The NFL thinks fans will complain but ultimately accept it. They think we're addicted, that we'll pay whatever they ask, watch however they demand, accept whatever crumbs they offer. Maybe they're right, or maybe, just maybe, there's a breaking point. Maybe it's when you have to watch this during the witching hour. Maybe it's when you need 6 different subscriptions to watch your team. Maybe it's when the tickets cost more than your mortgage payment. The NFL had something special. It wasn't just a sport, it was a cultural institution. Sunday was church and football was the sermon. Red Zone was our refuge and the Super Bowl was our national holiday. But in pursuit of that $25 billion, they're destroying what made football matter. They're turning fans into consumers, games into content, and traditions into revenue opportunities. Scott Hansen won't be saying commercial-free football anymore. Stream East is gone. Your Christmas dinner now requires a Netflix subscription. And somehow, despite making more money than ever, the NFL keeps finding new ways to make the fan experience worse. The Shield isn't protecting anything anymore except profit margins. But here's my question for you. Where's your breaking point? When does the NFL push too far? When do we stop accepting this? Because until we do, they'll keep pushing, they'll keep testing, and they'll keep eventizing. So let me know in the comment section down below. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.